In part one, I spoke about 8 different things that nobody spoke about before moving to Germany. That's basically essentials are closed on Sundays, recycling fines, discrimination, and etc. And I held 3 things which are very personal and very heavier to talk about. It is also very important as an expat that I should talk about this so that you guys, whoever is planning to come to Germany, is aware about these issues before moving here. Those are unemployment, drug issues, and the elephant in the room is German language itself. I did mention about the German language in a part one in a very brief, but here I'm going to talk about it in detail. So let's get started. Welcome back to my channel and thank you for all the support that you have shown to my videos so far. And I would also request you to please hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet. So let's start with the unemployment. I would love to narrate my personal experience here. 11 years of experience in procurement and sourcing within semiconductor sector, work with the multinational organizations and global suppliers with a master's degree from a well-known international university from UK. In India, these credentials mean something. I might have to struggle when the market is down, but I'll still find some other suitable role. But here, all these credentials, all these experiences means nothing without German. For example, I find a job in LinkedIn, Zing, Glassdoor, Stepstone, which is a perfect match with a global role, communicating with the global suppliers and the global stakeholders, which clearly states on a job description. And when I apply for this role, sometimes it takes more than 24 hours, and sometimes I receive a rejection within 5 minutes. That means my profile is not even seen by a human eyes. For that, I get a rejection. And I always curate each and every CV to the job requirement, including the cover letter. But still, with all the keywords, with all the formats, I still get a rejection within 5 minutes. And that's most of the time. And sometimes rejection states that they are looking for somebody who speaks German fluently and has a German band of at least C1 or C2. And sometimes the rejections are really vague without any feedback on for a role dealing with an international stakeholder. Initially, I used to feel demotivated or I used to feel really bad looking at those rejections, but now I am used to it. Let's say I'm immune to it. Sometimes I really feel worthless, like everything that I have built, my education, my experiences, my career, nothing really matters because I don't speak that one language, which is German. And surprisingly, I'm not the only one. Germany's unemployment rate hit about 6.3% this year. Nearly 3 million people are unemployed, which is highest in the last 12 years. Out of 3 million unemployed people, 1.14 million are skilled workers who are unemployed, just like me and you. And shockingly, at the same time, there are hundreds and thousands of jobs which are in the job portal which are unfilled. The job exists, people are here, but somehow we don't match. It's been 1.5 years. I'm still looking for a full time opportunity. Of course, I'm working as a part time at the moment. Still applying, still getting these rejections within a week. And of course, I'm building my German language skills. Now, let's move on to German language barrier. When you move to Germany, the first thing that you do is register yourself, and it's called Anmeldung, which you have to do within 2 weeks of landing in Germany. We took a appointment online and went to this registered office. And this is the first time that we are going to this registered office. We didn't know where this office, as you guys know, just like a government offices in India, it's a huge building, and we were not very clear where this Anmeldung office is located. So we went to a receptionist who was sitting on the first floor of this building, and we asked her in English that we have an appointment for Anmeldung, so can you please guide us towards the register office? She was doing something and she looked at us and straight away says to our face, no English, and start speaking in German. We are standing there in a foreign office as a non German wanting to register in Germany. This lady is refused to talk to us in English and goes on talking to us in German. We are standing there, zapped, totally blank, because we were not understanding a single word what's coming out of her mouth. And therefore, we stood there and tried to figure out the signboards, which also is in German. We stood there totally confused, struggling to figure out on the middle of the corridor. Suddenly, a security guard walked past and he saw us standing there confused. He come to us asking if we need any help, and that too in English, because I think he figured out that we were not able to follow through. Showed us exactly where we wanted to go. This actually made me thinking we are actually in a foreign office, and the receptionist sitting there is supposed to help us, guide us where to go to this office, rather than a security guard who is helping us and guiding us, doing her job. uh, this is the experience that we had in a city registration office. This is a city registration office, and people come here to register themselves from different countries, and that is literally what the office exists for. But assuming people whoever enters that office can speak in a German language, a sheer and utter ignorance from the receptionist sitting here in the counter. It's not just an inconvenience, it's basically a system which is failed to help people when it's supposed to help them. As I said earlier, my German is getting better. We are far more better than we were on a day one. Now we can easily communicate in a government office. We are not facing any difficulties at the moment because we understand the language. We are not fluent, but then we are developing ourselves. I request you to please invest your time in learning a language, at least B2 level, because without a language, it's a very difficult for anybody who come from outside Germany. You have to have a basic understanding of this language. I know even after doing a B2, you are not fluent when you speak, and you will have a difficulty communicating, but still you will understand a vocabularies. Uh, you will understand whatever they speak. And even though you respond to them slowly, people are patient here to listen to you. I haven't seen anybody saying this a year ago before we flew here, but now everybody is talking about learn German because the market has changed, the dynamics has changed. So the language is very important here. Even though you don't have an experience, even though you don't qualify for a job, you understand German, you get a job here. That is for sure. So now let's move on to a very serious topic, drugs and the violence on the streets of Germany. Any big cities like Cologne, Frankfurt, Düsseldorf, Munich, Berlin, Hamburg that you visit in Germany, you will find these homeless people either drinking, holding a beer bottle, or smoking. And that too in the vicinity of a main central station. Nobody spoke about this openly when we were planning to move, because we couldn't find these videos. But recently I have seen a lot of YouTubers, especially the local YouTubers, making videos on these serious issues where they are talking about a serious drug problem in Germany. I'm not talking about anything which is hidden. It is out there. It is very open. I'm talking about what I see every day here in Dortmund, or whenever I visit any town, any city in Germany, on the streets, in a train station, in a city center. So let me give you a personal experience that happened with us in Cologne. So we reached Cologne and we saw a beautiful Cologne cathedral, and from there we had to take a U-Bahn. We went to the closest U-Bahn station next to a Cologne cathedral. As soon as we entered, a strong smell hit us, and to be honest, I was not able to breathe properly. But then we had to enter the station to take a U-Bahn. So we were entered inside, and what I saw was shocking and unexpected. I saw homeless people sitting on a floor, urinated, smoking, and drinking. Some were injecting themselves, that too in a train station. My wife was with me, therefore we walked faster and wanted to go to the train station. Got to the train, and that's when we both started to breathe properly. And to be honest, it actually took me back to a scenario which happened with me in Indian train station. As you guys know, the public toilets are not at all clean in India. It's filthy. It is not at all maintained, and it smells as bad as you can imagine. And that day, I had the same experience. And we both were just thinking that everybody says India is filthy, India is dirty, India is bad. But in Germany, in one of the biggest city, Cologne, you have a train station which smells filthy, filled with homeless people who are openly injecting themselves, urinating, taking drugs. I mean, I don't have anything to say here. But yes, that is part of Germany now, and it's not only Cologne. We visited Frankfurt, we visited Berlin, Dusseldorf, and in Dortmund, where I live. I have seen this in every major cities. Homeless people, drug addicts, on the streets every day. They will come and beg you for the money. As soon as they earn enough cash, they go back to the store, they buy a beer or they buy a cigarette. According to the stats, German train stations recorded 27,800 violent incidents last year, nearly 1,000 plus knife attacks. And shockingly, Dortmund Central Station itself recorded 735 violent incidences, one of the highest in the country. That is the reason cities like Cologne, Dusseldorf, Dortmund has banned alcohol consumption in train station this year. I don't say this to criticize Germany. Every country has its own problem. Even in India, we have a lot of problems, but none of these famous YouTube channels were talking about these issues in Germany. As an expat, want to build a career here, want to build a family here, has to think about these issues as well, because we always think that the grass is greener on the other side, but nobody talks about the crime rate or a violence rate in the Western countries. And one such incident which come out of India is blown out of proportion in most of the channels. But those things are very common in these European countries as well. And it's just that nobody puts it on a news channel or a national television. Every YouTube channel that I watched shown me castles, beautiful gardens, tulips, Autobahn, but nobody spoke about the actual issues which is kind of in this country. And you can actually search on the internet and you will find all the information about current situation of the European countries. So again, I'm saying this, Germany is not a bad country. I want to be very clear about it. The safety is at most important here for each and every people. The life is valued, opportunity exists. It's just that if you're planning to move here, as I said earlier again, please learn German. This is the nth time I'm talking about it, I guess. Please learn German, not because you want to, but because people expect it from you. So please be mindful. Education, your experiences is just a small part of your life here in Germany, which will be not enough. I learned it hard way after 1.5 years, still trying to better myself, still trying to learn the language. This channel is a part of how I fight back. Every Friday, I will show up. Every Friday, I am one step closer to my dream of having a motorcycle in Germany, and one step closer to proving that experience and hard work still matters even in Germany. If you are Indian or from an Indian subcontinent living in Germany, tell me your experience in the comments. What nobody warned you about moving to Germany. I will read and reply to every single one of them. Until next Friday, be safe, ride safe, always wear a riding gear and a helmet. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao.